preying on the elderly. Two men police are looking for right now. And a neighborhood on edge. The criminal arrested hiding out in a backyard shed in 60 seconds. Next at 11, scammers targeting the elderly.
They are professional, and they've probably been doing it a long time because they know all the tricks.
How the criminals tricked a woman into letting them inside. Traffic trouble, the area you need to avoid tonight, and a hunt for a man considered armed and dangerous.
There are police cars everywhere, helicopters in there.
Got him. Where police caught him when ABC 7 News at 11 starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 Broadcast Center, this is ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
Happening now in Arlington tonight, an active search for two men who targeted an elderly woman and used deception to rob her. The victim tells us she was inside her home on South 31st Street Saturday afternoon when they arrived.
She tells us that the smooth talkers were inside her home and out with full pockets in a flash. Roz Plater live at police headquarters tonight with the story. Roz, are there any leads the police are working with now?
Well, police are getting the information out there, hoping to generate some leads tonight. This victim says these were no amateurs. They were in and out quickly, and they grabbed her very valuable jewelry, items she had hoped to use to fund her grandchildren's college education.
And they were going, beating the door down.
An urgent knock at her front door Saturday afternoon, and this 91-year-old Arlington woman who walks with a cane opened it to find two men who told her they were with the phone company.
They said there was a big accident.
They told her phone lines were down in the neighborhood and they had to check her wiring, so she let them in.
They were so professional and so polite.
So polite, they even helped her get to her chair. Then she says one of them kept her occupied in the living room while the second man quickly scanned the house, then began making trips up and down the stairs.
He was fast as a cricket.
The men communicated via walkie-talkie, and it wasn't until they were long gone she discovered she'd been robbed.
And I had all of my important papers and everything, and I have a locked closet that was very difficult. They prized that open, and they went in everything. They plundered. They were looking for jewelry and money. I have a whole drawer full of costume jewelry. They didn't even bother to take one piece of it.
She says investigators believe the second man stuffed her valuables in his pockets. Arlington police are trying to track down the scammers, and she is telling her story.
It's a horrible thing. I don't want anybody out to go through what I did.
Now, police describe the suspects as either white or Hispanic men in their 20s, just over 5 feet tall. One of them has a rather distinctive chipped front tooth. Anybody with information is asked to call Arlington Police. We're live in Arlington. I'm Roz Plater, ABC 7 News.
All right, thank you, Roz. Now to Prince George's County, where we have this just coming in. A traffic alert on I-95 in Greenbelt. Now, right now, 3 southbound lanes are closed near the metro tracks. Crews are working on bridge repair in that area. The lanes will be closed until Tuesday morning rush hour, so you're urged to use another route until then.
Well, a local family is in Dover, Delaware tonight, waiting to bring their husband and father home. Staff Sergeant David Stewart is one of 3 Marines killed last week in Afghanistan. Staff Sergeant Stewart of Stafford was in an armored vehicle clearing IEDs when one tore through that vehicle. His wife, Chrissy, says he loved being a Marine and loved his country. Staff Sergeant Stewart leaves behind his wife and 2 small children. He served 5 tours, 3 in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan.
New developments tonight on the Redskins name debate. 3 Virginia lawmakers have come out in favor of the name publicly now, creating the Redskins Pride Caucus. This group includes Northern Virginia delegates David Ramadan, Jackson Miller, and Chap Peterson. At a news conference in Richmond, those lawmakers say that they don't consider their name a racial slur. And they also say the controversy is hurting the region's economy.
So this is a worldwide franchise. Fans are across the world, across the globe. They all identify with being warriors, with being a football team that we all enjoy.
Last week, the U.S. Patent Office pulled 6 of the Redskins' trademarks on the grounds that the name disparages Native Americans. The team is planning to appeal.
Well, we turn to the weather now. A beautiful day across our area, and you can expect more of the same tomorrow. But there may be changes on the way for later this week. And Steve Rudin standing by with the latest. Hi, Steve.
Hi, we are going to look for humidity and temperatures to soar as we move through the next couple of days. Today was the cooler day, comfortable, dry outside with a good deal of sunshine. But as we take a look at what's going on with temperatures right now, slowly falling through the 70s and eventually into the 60s as we move through the overnight hours. We had a few showers well to the west of us. Now those showers well off toward the north and west across Ohio and Michigan, really not going to impact us at all. Looking at quiet and dry conditions early tomorrow morning, humidity and temperatures build for the daytime hours. We'll talk about the timing for the thunderstorms coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, Steve, thank you very much. Well, a big day for Maryland tomorrow as voters will weigh in on a critical primary election. The 3 highest offices in the state are up for grabs, but the race for governor, of course, is getting the most attention. Robert Lyles is live in Largo. Robert?
That's right, Allison. So Anthony Brown worked late into the night to get out the vote, and that's because officially tomorrow's primary will decide the Democratic candidate for governor. But with Democrats dominating the governor's office, tomorrow unofficially is a lot like the general election. So as you're about to see, candidates pulled out all the stops.
It means so much to
Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown showed no signs he'd been pressing the flesh since dawn. Polls suggest 46% of likely voters choose him as Democratic nominee for governor.
We're going into Election Day with the highest percentage of identified voters.
But State Attorney General Doug Gansler is undaunted by polls.
I'm confident we're going to win.
He too pressed the flesh in Bethesda and took a not-so-veiled jab at Wall Street Journal gubernatorial polling.
They talk about how 10 days out from the election, Eric Cantor was down 34 points and then loses by 12, so they were 46% off on that poll.
Heather Mazier was also in get-out-the-vote mode. All 3 Democrats are relying on the fact Democratic voters outnumber Republicans 2-1. But there may be a problem.
I didn't know the primaries tomorrow. I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
And those who do know may not care.
Not so much, no. I'm busy with 3 little kids right now.
It's June 24th. Is that like the first one?
But even fewer voters know David Craig, Ron George, Charles Lawler, or Larry Hogan, the Republicans running for governor.
Let me bring you not only...
So what happens on Tuesday could tell the election story in November. Now, traditionally, the primary is in September, but was moved up to June to accommodate all the troops voting from overseas, that is. Now, the polls open tomorrow in Maryland at 7 a.m., and you can vote through 8 p.m. That's the latest live in Largo. I'm Robert Lyles, ABC 7 News.
Okay, Robert, thank you. And the polls close in Maryland, as he said, at 8 p.m. tomorrow. And our sister station, News Channel 8, will have continuing coverage and analysis of all of the results. We'll also have a complete wrap-up right here on ABC 7 News at 11.
All right, just ahead, after billions of dollars in years of work and delays, Metro announces a deadline.
When you can start riding the Silver Line, coming up.
The normally quiet community of Kensington was anything but today as a bank is robbed and the suspect flees into a neighborhood, and our cameras were there as he was taken into custody.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 11 on your side.
Terrifying moments in a Montgomery County neighborhood as police officers, canines, and helicopters search for a man believed to be armed and dangerous. And in the end, police caught their man. He is accused of robbing a bank in Kensington.
Our Tom Rousey was in that neighborhood as officers took the suspect into custody, and Tom is checking in now live from Montgomery County with the story. Sounds like a pretty intense scene out there, Tom.
Intense was a word I heard a lot today, Leon. This is the bank where it all started behind me, an M&T bank near Kensington's Antique Row. The suspect fled on foot. He went this direction, and he was found less than a mile away in the middle of a very highly populated neighborhood that is definitely not used to this kind of thing. The manhunt happened in the Kensington Heights neighborhood. Montgomery County Police formed a tight perimeter around the area the suspect was in, and then they spotted him.
Our officers tried to confront him. We're in a foot chase, and then it led through several backyards.
Police say the man fled to one shed, then went to another shed next door. That's where they got him. You can see he doesn't look thrilled about being taken into custody.
There are police cars everywhere, helicopters in there.
This all started a little after 4:30 at the M&T Bank.
Which is pretty wild because we don't usually get a lot of stuff like that happening here in Kensington.
About the only thing that normally ever interrupts this quiet area of Kensington called Antique Row are the trains. The suspect fled from here to nearby Kensington Heights.
Saw like 3 cops just like run behind the backyard right there. And then I hopped up and then I saw cops like running to each house.
The Pryors say they've never seen anything like this here.
Every once in a while a broken car or something like that, but nothing at all serious.
Police recovered money from the shed where the suspect was caught, and a source says they also found the robbery note. Neighbors are glad police caught the suspect and things can return to normal here.